So you have to be wondering, well, Abraham, there are a lot of things in this world that when I look at them, I feel negative emotion because they are simply not the way I want them to be. And we acknowledge you came to explore and to personally decide what your preferences are. You've chosen this diverse universe. You've chosen this diverse, specific planet upon which you are co-creating. Because in your diversity, there is the opportunity for each of you to come to your own personal conclusions. And once you do, the power of the universe, the power of source energy, the power of alignment will back you up and assist you in the achieving of that. But so often, you have split energy about it because you've long ago come to the conclusion of what you want, but you keep picking away at the reasons about why you want it. I want it because that isn't good, and I want it because that isn't fair, and I want it because that doesn't feel good, and I want it because I don't like that. And we say, if you could just leave the I don't want part of it out of the equation sooner, then you would align with what you want, and you would come into vibrational alignment with the power of the universe. If you've been listening to us for a while, and you have, you've heard us offer many different examples in order to help you to get a sense of this vibrational beingness that is all of us. We explained to you that as you sift through this contrast in your human form, that in your observation of what's going on around you, in your focus, in your imagining, in your attention, in your focus is the best word. In your focus, you are emanating vibrational rockets, and they precede you. Knowing what you don't want causes you to send off a rocket of desire of what you do want. And then we explain to you that law of attraction gathers those preferred rockets and holds them in a vibrational holding pattern, really eternally for you, there as a beacon for you to tune yourself into. So this vortex that we've been talking about, some find it difficult to get their thoughts around something that they can't see. It's really the only problem that you have with your physicalness. You are so good at translating vibration into the physical equivalent through what you see and hear and smell and taste and touch, that you want everything to be tangible. You want manifestation to show itself to you right away. And so you sort of count on manifestations to observe in order to adjust the way you feel. If you're observing a pleasing manifestation, you feel good and you say, yes, I would like more of that, please, or I demand more of that, yes. I want more of these pleasing things because when I look at pleasing things, I'm pleased, so please me, you say to your children, to your employers, to your employees, to your friends, to your mates, to your parents. Please me because I want to feel good. I want to feel good. You don't really realize that the reason you do feel good is because you're in complete alignment with all that you really are. And when you're in complete alignment with all that you really are, you're being all that you really are. You don't know that that's why you want to feel good. I want to feel good. I want to feel good. So please me because I want to feel good. And we say, that is so backwards. It doesn't even work that way at all. You must decide that you want to feel good and develop the self-discipline to look in the direction of what does feel good, whether it's past, present, or future. Focus upon what feels good, which means focus upon what's in your vortex, which means focus upon your inner being who stands in vibrational alignment with all that you have become. And when you focus in vibrational alignment with all that you have become, then what happens is you send out a singular vibration, not a mixed bag, know what I want, know what I don't want, a singular, steady signal. And in today's terminology, recently, if you've been listening to us in the last few weeks, we are calling that vibrational alignment, that basis of who you are. It's your vibrational grid. It's the vibrational framework that you were born with. It's this vibrational grid that when you line up with it, when you come into alignment with who you really are, your point of attraction is so powerful that anything that isn't in sync with it just bounces right off of it, bounces right off of it, bounces right off of it. And the good life, the path of least resistance, becomes what you're living. Now, sometimes you say, oh, path of least resistance sounds pretty lazy. And we say, those of you who have been attempting to apply the processes that we've been offering over all of these years would not call it a lazy effort, would you? because it takes some focus. It's not easy to be in this world with all of these opinions and all of these processes and all of these patterns of life and all of these manifestations, some of which you like and some of which you don't like. It's not an easy thing to be in this interconnected world, and it's more interconnected today than it has ever been. Oh, more now. Things are moving fast. More now. It's moving very fast. Your interconnectivity is moving so fast. And so this is the time, if there was ever to be a time, for you to find your true guidance and align with it, because there is so much opportunity to be called away from who you really are. And when you're called away from who you really are, mostly by your simple observation of the world, or of a situation, or of a person, when you're called away from who you are, you feel it. That's what negative emotion is. So, we're going to talk today about anything that is important to you. But we want to help you to establish in your own awareness this sense of this grid. We want you to acknowledge that there is a vibrational basis for that which you are. And it's not only the basis of who you were before you were born. Oh, that's a good basis. But that basis has expanded tremendously since you've been here in this physical body. Because you have been living life and knowing that you don't want to be rude, that you want to be an uplifter. Knowing that you don't want to be confused, that you want to have clarity. Knowing that you don't want instability, that you want stability. Knowing that you don't want poverty, that you want prosperity. Knowing that you don't want to be bored, you want to be interested. Knowing. You've carved out this beingness that stands always offering the signal to let you know where you stand in relationship to that. And that's the grid, really, that we want you to know that you've carved out. It's this being, this central being. It's the being who loves no matter what, who understands no matter what, who accepts diversity no matter what, who appreciates no matter what. It's the core of who you are. It's the being who feels self-appreciation no matter what, who feels appreciation for others no matter what. Now we know that's an interesting concept, that someone could be so oblivious to what's really going on that they would just stand in a place of pure positive energy. But it's not an oblivious stance. It's a carefully honed, carefully crafted over many life experiences. It's a stance of becoming. It's who you really are, you see. So, the grid is the basis of who you are. And when you find a way to line up with that, then all of the things that you've been putting into this vortex that are right now vibrational versions of what you want, as far as you are concerned, far less satisfying than the manifested versions. A vibrational version, blah, blah, blah. Virtual money, whoop-de-doo. A virtual lover, well, good for them. I want the manifestation of that, Abraham. And we say the manifestation must follow. The manifestation must be allowed by you. But you got to figure out what's the vibrational consistency of that, and you have to find the vibrational grid that allows it to flow. So here's the picture we would like you to see. So you were source energy before you came into this physical body. You've heard this so many times you could speak it as well as we do. Source energy before you came into this body. A part of you came into this physical body. And as you came into this physical body, you are exploring like leading edge pioneers, while the source of you remains in this steady, solid, always pure positive energy vibration. Always loving, you might not. Always worthy, you might not feel like you are. In other words, this secure being, you might not be, but it still remains there. So you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And every time that happens, which is all day, every day, and has been from the moment that you set foot into this foot, you send these rockets of desire, and your becoming happens. And we've been calling this your vortex. Now, you've been listening to us for a while. We've been saying, you want to get in your vortex. You want to get in your vortex. That was our way of saying, you want to get up to speed with what is in your vortex. You want to achieve a vibrational stance that allows the vortex, law of attraction, to bring you in where all that you are and all that you want is. Today, we are giving you a slightly different way of looking at this because we want you to understand that as you stand here in your powerful moment of attention, that you are generating a vibration, and when it is in sync, Esther has been trying to find a visual as she hears us explaining and feels us explaining this to you. And the visual that she has is that beaming up from the very core of that which she is, you are, is this bright beam of vibration. And when she stands in it, she can feel the clarity of it. She knows that that's what she's doing when she's allowing Abraham to flow through. Standing over there in it, it bees so dominant that she bees compliant with it. So here is this energy, this vibration, this core beingness beaming up. And here you are somewhere in the vicinity of it. Maybe over here ornery about something. Maybe over here frightened about something. Maybe standing right in it in appreciation or love of something. But you get to choose, you get to allow or disallow your relationship with this grid. So that's pretty easy to understand, isn't it? It's pretty easy to understand your relationship with the vortex or your relationship with the grid. Conceptually, not hard to get your thoughts around that, is it? But now, how does the rest of the world fit in with your grid? Well, let's say that you are in vibrational alignment with who you are, and you are beaming a powerful signal. That means that anyone who's moving around in your vicinity, who's of the same vibrational frequency or nature, can't you just see those grids clicking together? Boom, 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 boom. So that there's this synergy, there's this energy, there's this co-creative enthusiasm that happens with grids like yours lining up, because law of attraction just locks them into place. Of course, you could have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed. You could be an ornery toad for the 5th day in a row. You might not be anywhere near your own core, your own vortex, your own natural source grid. You got something else going on out here. Well, guess what's happening? Those grids are lining up too. Coming into place. All those ornery people coming to you, or all those fearful people coming to you. In other words, all around you, you have the potential of aligning with your true power. Now, you've heard us say, we know you have because we've been saying it and you've been listening, that one who's in alignment, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, is more powerful than millions who are not. So if you take the time to notice your grid, if you take the time to align with it, the power of that which you are about will be evidenced by the manifestations that surround you. But more important, will be evidenced by the way you feel, by the clarity you feel, by the vitality you feel, by the enthusiasm you feel, by the well-being that you feel, by the joy for life that you feel. So there's nothing inappropriate with hooking up with some of those other grids. It's part of that contrast that we were talking about. Just don't make a lifestyle of it. Just don't spend your time out there in the vibrational wasteland conferring with others about the best way to cope while you're out there. And that's what so much life experience and chatter is about. Well, this is how we're dealing with life. Let's join together in chat groups and deal together. And we say, there's only one chat group we join, and it's the one that is connected to the core of that which you are. It's the one that always exudes from you enthusiasm and clarity and love. So, we are eager to talk with you about whatever is important to you. It is our promise to you that by the time we are finished today, you'll understand the grid fully, and it is our expectation that you'll be right in alignment with who you really are. We also want to say to you that that does not mean that you will forevermore be in lockstep with your grid, because you have come here to experience variety for the purpose of adding to the whole of that which we all are. This is a creative dance. There's just such a difference when you know about the grid, when you know that you are the creator of your own experience, when you know that you have the ability to generate a vibration and that law of attraction will acknowledge the vibration that you've offered, when you are able to acknowledge the difference between holding yourself in sync with who you really are or holding yourself out of sync with who you really are. When you get the personal awareness of how these magnificently consistent laws of the universe work, and you go with the flow of those laws, people who are watching you will be amazed at what you accomplish. They will be amazed at the clarity of your mind.